So I like to on America a lot on my channel. However, if I'm looking at things objectively, there are a few things that America does better than Poland. Okay, so I know a lot of Polish people are gonna disagree with this, but I find the friendliness of Americans to be a overall good thing.
Hello, neighborino to the north. I sure like the cut of your gibberish.
Cohen doubly
Diddly oodly, oodly, loony oodly.
Because I think we have a general politeness and manners when we're talking to other people. The more time I spend in Poland, the more I agree with kind of the Polish mentality where you don't really talk to people you don't know. But I think it causes an overall unwelcoming environment. And in many places in the US, people are extremely friendly. Now, you can make the argument that Americans are like peaches, where we're very soft on the outside, but it's very difficult to make long-lasting relationships. And to be honest, I would agree with that. Being in American society is quite nice because I can be in line to do something. If I want to talk to my neighbor, it's not that weird, and I won't get a lot of people staring at me. The same way that if I were to go up to a stranger here in Poland. Here, societally, people don't really do that. I think there's no other country in the world that's as social as Americans. So something similar to that is overall American optimism. Polish people are quite negative and quite pessimistic, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of you guys will say realists, but I think it can actually lean towards the negative side. But I understand where it comes from, because if you look at Polish history, they've been invaded so many times. Soviet rule over Poland was only around 30 years ago. Right now, Poland is doing extremely well, but the vast majority of the population has not lived in a prosperous Poland. America, we're allowed to be very optimistic because of our geographic location. Nobody has really been able to invade us. We're kind of like the rich kid at school that grew up having everything handed to them.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
It's also encouraged for people to pursue their dream and to do something that may seem unrealistic to a lot of people. So growing up as an Asian, if I were to tell them that I wanted to pursue being a YouTuber or a musician, I would get shot down immediately.
I want to be a YouTuber? Jesus Christ! What the hell you say? I want to be an influencer? Our song is stupid.
Whereas in America, you can be like, I want to be a stand-up comic or something crazy, and everybody will encourage you to do it. Now, that leads to a lot of delusional people who don't end up being successful, but for the 20% of people that end up making it, is because of America's optimistic culture that allowed us to pursue this without judgment. I say optimistic, some people say delusional. I say pessimistic, some people say realist. So it really depends on your perspective. Here's another small thing. In America, we're able to get water for free at restaurants. If you want to use the bathroom, people don't charge you for it. If I have to just pee, rather than going in the bush, why do I have to pay 3 zloty, almost $1, just so I can use the bathroom? And at restaurants, right? Why do I have to pay for water? Water is free. One of America's biggest strengths is that our culture is so world-renowned because we've had a monopoly on media for such a long time. It's crazy that I've met people all around the world and they all tell me that they learned English watching Friends. I enjoy Friends. I think it's a good show, but the international impact that show has had is crazy. I think about this a lot. Why aren't we speaking Mandarin? Or why aren't we speaking Spanish? We're speaking a language created in a small country in Western Europe. And it's not because of the UK, it's because of America. America puts a lot of focus into entertainment, for better or for worse. We make a lot of people celebrities that don't deserve to be celebrities. In every single country that I've traveled to ever, American music is always recognized. American movies are shown in every single place around the world as well. You can see how important this is because South Korea single-handedly has been able to change the image of Asian people all around the world through the strength of their media. So the number one reason everybody comes to America is for financial opportunity. Yes, a lot of people saying that the American dream is dead. However, I don't 100% agree with that. I've seen the American dream in effect. One of my best friends is a Mexican guy, comes from a single mom, extreme poverty, and he's been able to go into the top 10% of earners, and he's not even 30 years old yet. He just bought his first house last week. When I was doing real estate, I was able to be in the top 10% of realtors in my first year as a 23-year-old. In many other places around the world, you have to climb the ranks, you kind of have to pay your dues. I was able to jump all the way to the top because of skill, talent, and hard work. And I don't think there's a lot of countries in the world you can say that about. So in America, we have a strong consumer culture. The thing with America is that the price of everyday basics like access to healthy food, healthcare, transportation, education, these are all extremely expensive. Physical consumer goods are very cheap. So yes, we may all be overweight and struggling with mental health, but hey, at least we got an iPhone. Also, Amazon Prime is so clutch. Things are just easier in America. Anything that you want, There's no limits. And even electronics, because a lot of things come from America. When you go overseas, you have to pay like foreign tariffs. Something that exists uniquely in the US, people care so much about using iMessage. I've known girls tell me that they won't even talk to a guy if when they text him, the bubble is green instead of blue. It's so dumb to me. American culture just doesn't make sense sometimes. Americans love their air conditioning. Because America is so big, and especially in places like Texas and Arizona, where the heat can get up to maybe like 50 degrees Celsius, air conditioning is accessible and most homes have it. Whereas here in Poland, a lot of homes don't have AC, even though a lot of them do have heating, but Poland has not found a good way to heat the homes without causing all this air pollution. Krakow is one of the worst offenders of this. Air pollution during the winter is some of the worst in the world. I really wish Poland would fix that. So I think one of America's strengths is the fact that we are a diverse nation. When I was growing up, I had Indians, Koreans, white people, black people, Mexican people, and we all grew up together, and I never really thought anything of it just because I was exposed to that from such a young age. And I didn't realize how awesome that was until I went to other places in the world like Colombia or here in Poland or even in Asia. They are more societally homogenous. It gave me a greater appreciation for other cultures, which is why when I travel, I'm able to assimilate quite easily. And growing up in America, my parents never forced me to marry within my own race. That's why I have a wider range in people that I've dated. Interracial race mixing is a lot more accepted in the US compared to other places in the world. And I think America is also a lot more open to a variety of ideas. Now, this isn't necessarily always a good thing because it's caused to a lot of infighting among our people. Nobody can agree on anything because everybody's opinion is equally valid, even though I don't think that's true. The way that I see America, it's just kind of the extremes of everything because society allows us to fully express ourselves for better or for worse. We also have some of the best food in the world. The ingredient quality in America is very bad. However, the taste and the options that we have for food in America is the best in the world. We have the best Asian food, Chinese, Korean, sushi is amazing there. Mexican food in Los Angeles is some of the best in the world. We literally have everything, and that's why it's quite common when you go to a dim sum place in America. You'll see Mexican families there, white families there, black families there, and it's quite normal because we've been able to share our different cultures and cuisines. America is also one of the biggest leaders in the world in innovation, and that's because America's culture with entrepreneurship and innovation allows for that to happen. Business culture in America is very extreme, but it offers the best playing fields for people looking to bring a new innovative idea to the table. If you're into tech, you can go to Silicon Valley. If you're more on the finance side, you can go to New York. If you're into the music scene, you can go to Los Angeles or you can go to Nashville, Tennessee. There are pockets for everything that you are looking for in America because the culture really allows you to be whoever you want to be. So this is something where I think Poles and Americans actually line up. We both have very strong work ethic. You can make the argument that we don't have a good work-life balance, and I would agree with you. But I think because everybody is working and hustling all the time, people are always looking for new opportunities to network and to build business relationships and to make money together. Something I like to do on my channel are real estate videos, and I've done it in many places around the world. But here in Poland, I reached out to 7 different real estate companies. All of them took so much time getting back to me. They were not the most professional. I found it quite frustrating trying to make business relationships here in Poland. It seems like the people are not quite that open to it. So one of the best things about being American is the international status that we have and the fact that our passport is so strong. So fun fact, the Polish passport is actually stronger than the American passport, but it doesn't carry the same amount of status and international weight as America does. For better or for worse, Americans are seen as a protected class in many countries around the world. Perfect example of this is when the basketball player Brittany Griner got arrested in Russia for smuggling weed into that country. If she was from any other country in the world, nobody would have cared. But the fact that she was American caused an international scandal. America came and negotiated for her release. Polish people still have a negative stereotype in many places. The American has so much more status all around the world. And this can lead us into getting in trouble because a lot of men like to use their passport to go to a country and flaunt it so they can attract all these women. But it also has a lot of positive because I feel quite comfortable traveling to all these countries because I knew if something were to go down, there's a high probability that because I'm American, I would be protected. America is also very diverse diverse in landscape. We are such a big country, and that's why it's very difficult to compare us with many countries around the world. We have desert, we have beach, we have mountains, we have every single climate that you can think of, all in one country with open borders, and we all speak the same language. So a lot of people can travel the US for their whole entire life and always find new things to see. We also have an amazing sports culture. In many places around the world, it's just football and everything else. In America, we're literally the opposite. I'm a very big basketball fan. Growing up in Los Angeles, Kobe was my favorite player. We just have so many different options to watch, right? Like sports is such a big part of our culture. Even in universities, the sports segment of UCLA or USC, some of these big schools is crazy. There is so much money to be made in collegiate athletics. Here in Poland, you just have football. And I'm gonna be honest, and Poles will say the same thing, Poland is not even that good at football. So there's not a lot to be excited about. I think the reason why Americans have been able to behave the way that we do is because of the strength of our military. Poland is definitely increasing the strength of the military. I think they're number 3 in all of Europe, and they're probably preparing for something to go down with Ukraine and Russia, but that's a topic for a different day. But it's because of the strength of our military that America has been able to dominate for so long. I personally think America spends too much money on the military. If somebody tries to bully us in foreign policy or economic policy, we can just tell them to F off, because America kind of acts like the world police and likes to bully people around the world. America gets involved in so many international conflicts and wars and governments, and Europe has not needed to invest in their military because they have America backing them up. So without America, many countries in the world would fall, and this is a negative because American taxpayers are paying for wars overseas. But as someone that's not living in America anymore, it doesn't really affect me that much. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Let me know what you guys think down below. Peace.